Good morning. Let's get started. So, Trump pumped weed over the weekend. We've been anticipating this. Uh, so unfortunately, I was long at 113. I cut it on Friday because we broke trend, and then over the weekend, we got the pump. So I got back in pre-market. We'll see what happens with it. Um, it is looking like a super nice looking wedge breakout. So far, we just have the Trump pump. So hopefully this isn't turning into a fake out on us. But so far, it's just looking like a super nice wedge breakout. Room up towards $2 a share to run. If real news comes out, this will get totally insane. And, probably going to push up towards $5 or something. So let's look at the previous run. So the last weed run we had was a while ago, but if I just put the forecast on from the last run, this would have us pushing up towards at least $1.75 before rolling back over. And again, we need some actual news. We can't just, it's not going to survive off of a pump. So it does need some kind of real news to come out. But at least in the short term, the pump will get it up probably into the 170s, I would imagine. So keeping a close watch on that one. Let me see if I can find the pump. It's pretty funny. Somehow Trump knew this was the opportune time to pump weed. Or whoever's running his social media. I think I have it saved. Yeah, it's right here.
And cardiovascular systems. But there's one essential system discovered in the 90s that you probably never heard of. It makes all of the other systems work smoothly with each other. Like a conductor, ensuring the different sections of an orchestra all play a beautiful symphony together. This system is called the endocannabinoid system. It has been acknowledged and studied by scientists extensively with support from the National Institutes of Health. As we age, the system weakens. As a result, the different systems in our body stop working together smoothly. That's one of the reasons older adults...
So anyways, Trump pumped this up, dropping this video on Truth Social. Kind of funny. Anyways, this is the projection. This is the forecast from the last weed run we had. This is a big weed run back here, all the way from, right here. In 2023, there was a nice one. Of course, if it gets super crazy, then it'll do something like this. But we need some real news to come out to get this kind of action. So you can just take this one and see how this one overlays. I don't think it's going to be as good. But let's see here. Yeah, this is just a totally ridiculous one. It'll probably turn into this if we get some real news and not just a Trump pump. But yeah, it'll be more like this, I would imagine. something like that. Yeah, that can totally happen. So again, I think we need that news. Like if they change the banking or anything around cannabis legalization, descheduling, rescheduling, uh, then we're gonna see this kind of action for sure, almost certainly. But again, gotta watch out because it can come right back down. I do think though that this could become a Carvana situation if we get some real news on it. Uh, because it just totally changes the industry. So, like Carvana was going bankrupt, and then the market decided, well, I guess not the market, the whatever, the car industry decided that car vending machines was a really good idea, and then they didn't go bankrupt. But that caused this crazy move back up to the highs. Pretty insane. Sort of a big shift in the company. So if we get legalization stuff, then I think we're going to see a more sustained move on Tilray, the weed stocks in general. And then it's going to really get going and not just be a pump and dump type chart. So yeah, I mean it's probably going to become a real stock at that point. It looks like a decent amount of accumulation down here. Who knows? So super interesting. Yeah, I've got big hopes for a few swings like Nike. Now, for whatever reason, Nike is following this sort of bottom out pattern from this came from Tesla. So the overlay is from Tesla, but for some reason, it is perfectly tracking with how Nike's playing out. Nike earnings tomorrow. Interesting. And guess what? It's going down into earnings, which means it's going to go up on earnings, I would guess. Seems to be how things work out a lot of times. But a bunch of politicians bought it right down here at the bottom. So they just seem to know. I don't know. It's a good sign, I guess. But I like how it's tracking with this Tesla pattern pretty closely. And this is one of these 60-70% moves off the top. Takes some time to play out, but usually if you get a 60% dip off the top for a real company, it's pretty much the best case scenario for a swing. As long as nothing fundamentally is changing with the company, they're not going bankrupt or anything. So obviously we have trade deal stuff. Institutional ownership on Nike is up. So that's this little chart down here. Institutions are liking it. I put some AI predictions down here. 6 months target 75 to 85 bucks. By 2027, 120 to 150. So it kind of aligns with everything that's going on here. And even the timeline matches up with that pretty good. 6 months, 85 bucks, that would put it right in this area. So just some predictions. It's fun to guess where these are going to end up. I am long Nike. Another one's Lulu. These are probably the main two I'm looking at right now for swings. But again, same thing with Lulu. Just fascinating how it tends to follow this pattern. Even on the weekly, kind of the weekly is maybe a better time frame to look at because I am swinging. Yeah, more long term on Nike. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. At least, you know, wait for this pop and sell into the pop and maybe reload the dip. Whatever. Doesn't really matter. It's gonna go up quite a bit, I think. Same with Lulu. Same exact pattern on Lulu. Exactly the same, following this trend that Tesla took when Tesla topped out, I think in 2023. But super interesting how it's following this trend so closely. And Lulu is just about to break trend. Fingers crossed that it follows this pattern. Again, maybe we hit around 280 by sometime in December. Totally possible. Again, real companies dropping 60, 70% off the top like this are usually really good opportunities for swings. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Nike gaps up on earnings. That would put it right into this range. And then it's back on track with this pattern. Pretty close. It doesn't have to be perfect, but this is just a guess. At least gives an idea of how this might play out. All right, let's look at a couple small caps. We got, of course, Tilray right here. I'm not a small cap, but that's the other one. Breaking trend. Little bit of a fake out. It got me. They got me. I cut it on Friday, and then I got back in today because it got pumped. So I am hoping we get the breakout, at least a push towards the 170 area. If it really gets going, then I'll stick around a little bit longer. Always going to scale it out, though, into the spike. So we have some small caps. MSS. Leading gapper. Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with Nike long term. I'd only get concerned if the that recent blow gets taken out. That would be maybe a problem, but if it holds that, it's probably just a great hold. MSS. Let's look at some pump and dumps here. Secures 70 million private placement to launch digital asset treasury. It's still happening. Eventually people will get tired of this news. I think it's not as effective as it was. But we do see some of these main pumps that have continuation squeezing out shorts using this news still. So we do see a lot that just fail. I don't think this news is as effective as it was. But again, there's another one. Let's check out some more details on it. MSS. Mason Solutions. All right, 3 million float. Low as expected. Let's see. March convertible notes. Those are kind of old. I already pumped, so I don't know if any of this dilution stuff is even going to be relevant unless they're ready to drop an offering. There is a pending effect, so they could drop an offering at any moment. $4 million shares, almost 5 million shares. It's a decent amount of shares. I mean, it's not that many though. 41 million has already traded on the day. So, all right, moving on. Probably just fades, I would guess. Holy cow, POAI. Jeez. That's interesting. All right, well, that's crazy. Let's see what happened here with the news. Pretty insane. So they dropped some trial news. Looks like announces. Let me get the better looking one. Wait a minute. There's more. Two kinds of news. Oh my gosh, look at this. 344 million to initiate digital asset treasury strategy. There it is. We're just talking about that. This is the news they used to pump. Pretty crazy stuff. Pretty nuts. So we got another one. This is actually pretty wild looking one. In 2 minutes, it's up so much. It's like the algos are just on it. They are on top of it. The news comes out. Boom, they hit it. 2 minutes into this thing. Absolutely wild. 300%, 350% move. Pretty crazy. POAI. Nuts. All right, JFB, this honestly the best short setup in the market right now has been these kind of moves. You get like a after hours runner into all day fade the following day. Looks like JFB is going to do that. Again, we had several of these last week. They were all killer trades. Absolutely wild. Gotta keep a close watch on this POAI one. This one might be up to no good. All right, Zura. What do we got? Yeah. Looks like no news on it. Wow, some people got blown out on BOAI, I bet. 10 million float. Oh, wait, that's BOAI. Yeah, even 10 million float, you're not safe. You're just not safe. Let's check out Zura. What is this thing? Biotech. 58 million float. Interesting. 51% institutional ownership. Okay. Probably just fades. Let's see the chart. Yeah, see, it doesn't really trade like we want. Hard to say, though, for sure. More of like a mid-cap stock. Still small cap. I don't know. It's kind of on the edge for me here. Kind of on the edge. I think I'll get rid of that one. Let's see. Score. All right. Keep a close watch on Zura. I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I like it. All right, 3 minutes to the open. Time to focus up. Might try the Tesla fake out strat. We'll see. I got a lot going on. Hey, a lot going on. NUAI is one of the multi-day runners. That one, I'm keeping a watch on it. Big watch. Oh, Tillery's ripping. Nice. All right. Hopefully that sustains. All right, let's see here. Score. Oh, that one's looking okay. All right. See if we get some fades. We already got some MSS. What a fader. Beautiful. Perfect. POAI. Amazing. This thing just came down so fast. We have a strat in the works for something like this. Specifically, in UAI, the best multi-day runner right now. All right. I think we got through the chaos. I do like this NUAI for maybe a short today. Sort of breaking trend line. Breaking this trend line right here. Maybe a breakdown pullback to the trend line. Gotta keep an eye on that. I might want to hit this one. DWTX threatening to squeeze me. Most likely squeezer. Man, so many good setups today. It's crazy. JFB, STKH, POAI, MSS, and more playing out. Tilbury higher. A lot of things bouncing nicely today. PayPal. Nike's giving me a chance to buy some more. Baba's up. Hood. Tesla's trying to do the fake out strat. Nvidia's up. RDHL threatening to squeeze now. Unlikely. Hmm. Gonna try Tesla short, risking 450. Fake out strat. Pull it up here. I got it on the other screen. So on the 5-minute, this is the setup. On the 5-minute, it's broken over pre-market high. Came back under pre-market high. I want to close a 5-minute close under the 9 usually. I'm pretty convinced we're going to get it, so I just got in. Sometimes anticipating like that's bad. But I'm in right around there looking for pre-market lows at least to start scaling out. At least scale out at 1R a little bit. Always scale some out as it works. Now Score's trying to squeeze me. I might have to cut that one. I don't know. Hmm. Hmm. Pretty low volume. That one's a little scary. Yeah, I'll just get out of that one. I don't like it. It could work. But man, look, it's only traded a million volume. uh, this could totally explode. If it gets any volume at all, it's gonna rip. Not worth it. Not worth it. Okay, I think I can focus on Tesla. So far, it's working. All right. Covered some Tesla. Can't lose now. On this trade. Several shorts open still. It's okay to sell some Tilray, into the move. I'm just going to sell half of my Tilray here and hold half. All right, Tesla's working out great. All right, I'm all out Tesla short. Pretty much got what I wanted. Now, I could have stayed in it and wait for the MACD to turn over on me, but a lot of times you get that pullback to the pre-market low. That's almost all you get sometimes. Sometimes you get a crazy follow-through day. Nice on Tilray, thanks. Yeah, I sold half at 57, 157, and I'm just gonna hold the other half for hopefully over $2. I don't know. We'll see if this breakout actually happens. The previous high is right around, I don't know, low 160s. So and this is such a beautiful flag on Tilray, and now we have a pump. So the breakout level is 164. Holding full swing on Tilray, nice. Love it. YCBD. Take a look at this. Yeah, it's one of these other weed stocks. Let's see. Low priced one. Absolutely ripping. And what's nice too is these smaller ones they just start running on sympathy and they lag behind the main leader. So there's a chance to get in these before they run. That's super nice. It's the kind of thing we like to gap over the weekend. If we have news like this. So hopefully we have a weekend play coming up on weed, but we'll see. Still a long way to go on that. I bought some more Nike. I mean, usually these things like to dip into earnings and then they rip. We know the politicians are in, so institutions love it. Let's see. Nike. May the swoosh be with you. Agreed. Yeah, it's still on this trend. It's under this trend line, which is a little concerning, but I do feel pretty good about it. I was planning on adding a bunch over the trend line, but I always get so unlucky with the news because I'll be watching these things and then they will drop news, or maybe it happens on earnings and then it gaps straight through, and then I end up missing or just getting a bad average. All right, let's check in on DFLI. Trying to short this. Hopefully it starts rolling over the next few minutes. Holding up a little too well. It gapped over this breakout level. So typically that's not what you want for the breakout. This is a beautiful small cap breakout chart though. But yeah, typically I don't want it to gap through the breakout. I want it to ramp through it intraday. It is being difficult though. Give it a few more minutes. The other trades are working out pretty good. RDHL, DWTX. Missed out on locates on a bunch of these. This one's the biggest threat right now to me. If I can survive whatever move happens here, I'm probably in good shape. But I wanted to break down through the breakout area and kind of fill the gap. That's the hope. Pull back towards 60 cents, at least. All right, Tesla following through nicely on that short idea. I covered it all at right around 442. Just for the day trade. Score is coming down, no problem. Didn't really have to cut that, but man, that one was kind of scary. This is the kind of chart that can absolutely run 1,000%. $1.5 million volume. You know, it's up 60, 70% on such a small volume. It's crazy. So if real volume actually comes into this, then it's going to start teleporting higher. Going to be a halt fest, gap up halt fest all day. Just not worth it. All right. DWTX short working great. And RDHL working great as well. May try NUAI. It's still going up though, so not exactly doing what I want. Tilray threatening a breakout again. Pushing right up to that key level. Right around the $1.60. So we'll see if it pulls back here. I think it'll probably pull back. Maybe consolidate and then gear up for the breakout for real, hopefully. What a beautiful chart, man. This is insane. Tesla rebounding a bit. That's why I like to cover. you can memorize this chart right here, you can make a lot of money. And of course, it always helps to get the Trump bump. It always blows my mind how perfectly timed the pumps are, because this thing just broke trend Friday and was pretty certain to keep coming down, but they pumped it over the weekend. Now it's most likely breaking out. Hilarious. Absolutely wild. And it's just day one, so hopefully this sustains pretty well. If it holds up at all today and isn't a full round trip, then we're gonna be in really good shape for a second green day into third green day maybe. And I'll probably get into at least $2, 250, $3 maybe, potentially. Who knows? Here's the forecast for Tilray. If it gets really crazy, this is what will happen. I think we need some legit news, though. We're going to be needing some real news for this to happen. So this would push it up towards $4, $4.50, $4.20. Let's just call it $4.20 is the profit target. It'll put us right at the tippy top. Not asking for much. Could get there. Probably going to have opportunities to add as well. Honestly, I should probably be adding here instead of selling, but I don't know. I like to de-risk as it goes up. Always conflicted with that. After it plays out, then I know what I should have done. Yeah, it's pretty close. It's going to do one of these two. It's going to do option A, big rip. Also, if we get news, actual news, then I would say it keeps going. If we don't get news, this is best case scenario. For option A. Option B, this one, kind of weak. Still good. Still very good, but it's more of a fake breakout into fade. So, earnings is coming up. That's something to keep an eye out for. Earnings are going to be bad. So it's probably going to run up into earnings and then just dump. So happens almost every time. Like this. Look at this run. Huge run up into earnings. Bam. Slammed right back down on earnings. Disgusting. Because they don't have earnings. Because weed's illegal. So there are the two options. When is earnings exactly? It's going to be on the 9th. So plenty of time to run. Plenty of time to run into earnings. But most likely, it's coming down on earnings. Hopefully it gets to 420. So this is probably, I don't know, more likely what it's going to do. Hopefully it does this one. Let's see, how many days do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 or 8 days here. So we have 9 days to earnings. So how perfect would this be if it ran up like mad into earnings, and then earnings comes out at the tippy top, and then it slams right back down? I don't know. It's not like it's happened like that over and over and over again in the past. Like, look at this one. This is the same thing. So run up, boom, earnings. Okay, earnings was back over here, but still went down in earnings. This one's more gross because it had a big run up into earnings. And then earnings was closer to the top. And then it just dropped on earnings, gap down. Disgusting. So, I don't know. I don't think there's ever been a good earnings result. Something to think about. All right, looks like, what is that one? DFLI. Starting to work. That's good. Want to see that pull back into the 50s. NUAI, the multi-day runner, these things are sticky. They just stick around. They just keep running. Hard to time the top on these. It's getting close to that previous day high level. One of the best setups for these is the fake out. So trend breaks and fake outs. It reclaimed the trend. So there's no trade there. Now maybe it's going to be a fake out over the high. So best case scenario for the short, we wanted to push over the high, maybe do a little chop, and then fill back under that level. And that probably will be it. Of course, there's always a chance it holds and just keeps going higher. But that's what I would look for on this setup. I was going to take the short here on the trend break, but it reclaimed, so no trade. Let it run. PKKT. This one's been fun in the past. It's alive. YCBD now the leading stock on the day. Leading gainer. Halted up. Amazing. I probably should have attacked the sympathies on weed today. Didn't even think about it. Mostly focused on Tilray. Score is threatening to squeeze again. This is what I'm afraid of on this one. I'm not going to short this. We've now traded 1.7 million shares on the day. And it's threatening to break out. So if it actually gets volume, it's going to start teleporting. Super scary. Tilray 162, beautiful. MSS. Perfect fader. Yeah, the only thing I could do is see if NUAI wants to set up. And I'm waiting on my shorts to work. Still 3 in progress. Yeah, NUAI just pushing more. This could set up. We're on the 3rd green day now. My favorite, though, is the gap. If it gaps at the end of the run, so I'll see what it does at this level. I would rather see it run though and then gap overnight for tomorrow. All right, here we go. Wicked out the high. It's probably going to get choppy. It's either going to keep going or it's going to get choppy and roll over. Keep a close Y on that one. Score is threatening to squeeze. I should probably buy that. It's really too risky either way, long or short. See you, Scotty. Have a good one. I'm about to wrap it up here. I think I'm going to call it. We got 3 shorts on. DFLI, RDHL, DWTX. Waiting for those to play out. Hopefully we get some nice fades. What a crazy morning for short selling. Holy cow. Plus Tilray, long. Want to see this run? This is a nice swing. Swings on Nike, Lulu, PayPal. Cracker Barrel. Yep. All right. Going to call it there. Good luck, everybody. I'll post some updates in Discord later, and we'll be back tomorrow.